Hey, Pete here for Studio Live today. Now, a lot of you have been telling me I'm not doing enough GarageBand or music lately, so in this video, we're going to fix all of that. I'm going to be recording a demo. I've got my acoustic guitar here. I'm going to be recording a demo using multi-track recording here in GarageBand on my iPad. So if you're keen to find out, if you haven't seen this sort of thing before, you're keen to find out how I can record using nothing but my iPad, that's what I'll be doing. I've got a brand new song that I've just written called... I haven't named it yet, so I'm going to be recording that here today. I'll record the guitar and then the vocals, mix those together, and we'll get our rough demo down. And I'll also talk a little bit about song structure and how we can set up to record the rest of this track here in GarageBand. So, let's go. Okay, so here I am with my iPad with a brand new track ready to start recording. So I've just gone into the audio recorder here on the iPad. I'm going to tap on instrument, and then we're going to use the standard nice room default that we have here in GarageBand. So here's where I will be playing my guitar, and it's going to be a fingerstyle guitar, which is something a little bit different. So you can follow along as I do this first take, and then we're going to dive in and do some vocals as well. So I'm not going to zoom in on GarageBand here. I've got other videos where you can jump in and see how I set things up, but there's not a whole lot going on here at the moment except for it going across the screen. So we will dive in and take a look at it once everything's recorded in a bit more detail. So we probably need to go up quite a bit, maybe not that much. So I'm just getting this volume so that... In fact, because I'm just doing the guitar part, I'm going to actually put it up reasonably high. But as I always say at this point, don't go too high because you can boost the volume quite easily. What you can't do is once you go in the red, you can't bring it back down. That's called clipping, and it's a bad thing. So don't clip your signal. Okay, so here I am set up to record now. I don't have my headphones plugged in directly here. They're going into my interface, and then headphones are coming out just so I can record the track that you can then hear from the iPad after the fact. So you'll normally just have your headphones plugged directly in here. Why do we need headphones even for the first track? Well, we need to have a click track to record this song. Okay, I didn't put my monitor on. I'm going to do that so that I can actually hear what is coming through the iPad. That's going to be better. Let's try this again. Okay, I'm going to turn my monitor off there because I could hear a little bit too much. Now, it's very weird when you sort of first start doing this and you're just using the microphone. Here you can kind of hear yourself breathing and whatnot. So I was a little bit too close here. It was a little bit of an awkward angle here just so that you could see what was going on. But we do have a complete recorded track now, which looks a bit like this. And again, I'll bring you in for a closer look in a moment so you can actually see. But it's nice, clean looking recorded track. If we play back a little bit of it, let's just go sort of towards the middle of the track and hit play. So not a bad sound. One thing you can probably already hear is that the metronome was too loud in my ears. I'll show you how to turn that down in a moment when we go in and do our vocal recording. But not bad. We've got a guitar take down for this song. We are ready to jump in and do some vocals. So let's do that now. So here we are, ready to go. I'm actually going to go handheld on this vocal. So what I need to do is go add here, and I'm going to add voice track. Now, as you might have seen in the past, I don't use the default lead vocals. We'll tap on that, and I'll use punchy presence instead. We'll hit done, and then I'm just going to hit the monitor button here. Check one. Yeah, it's going to be too loud. We'll dial that down. Check 1, 2, 3. That's probably too soft. Check 1, 2, 3. So you want your loudest notes to be hitting this one, you want them to be hitting about 2/3 the way up there, no higher than that, or you're going to get yourself into trouble. So I'm going to jump in and do the vocal recording performance of this one, and then, as I said, I'll zoom us in so you can actually see what we've done here and how we do multi-track recording, because you'll notice here that we have two different tracks here now. What's going to happen is it's going to play back my guitar track, and this might be really simple if you've done this a lot before, but for those that are new to this sort of thing, it's going to play back my guitar track, and I'm going to record my vocals over the top, and I can hear the guitar track as I go along, so I can just sing along to the guitar track. It'll record them on two separate tracks, and then I have separate control over these two. So the beauty of multi-track recording here in GarageBand is we can do these at the same time, and I'm using no more gear than the internal microphone and a pair of headphones. So let's go ahead and record a take of these vocals now. And yes, this does feel super weird holding this as my microphone, but if I leave it on the desk, it tends to get a whole lot more vibrations when I'm doing singing. I learned that in a recent attempt doing some spoken word, so we're going to use it handheld and see if we can get a good take of these vocals. Setting up the guitar. Check, 1, 2. Yep. There was a time when we used to play outside. Didn't worry who was around. We were free and we didn't have a care about the things we put in the air. But those times are gone. They have floated away. We're moving on, no more yesterday, because it's gone, and it's a new day. Everyone needs a little comfort when they reflect on all the good times that we had and how we felt. But when we look back, we have our rose-colored glasses on. So let's take the best of what we had, 'cause it's a new day. Hello darkness, my old friend, your busy day is at an end. Okay, so what you can see a bit of is that I've got my lyrics up there, so I recommend making sure you have lyrics when you're doing this, but I'm reasonably happy with how that came out. We've got our guitar and we've got our vocal here. What I'm going to do now is zoom you in and we'll just take a look and a quick listen at this track and how it's all come together. Okay, sorry, we have to go dark when we come in close to the iPad or we can't see what we're doing. So here's our 1, 2 tracks, and what we can do now is if we slide this panel out, we tap and slide, we can see here that we've got some mute and solo buttons there. So we can mute one instrument, solo one instrument, or have nothing. We've got our volume slider there as well, so we can adjust our volume. There are basic controls. So what I'm going to do is go back to the start of this track. Oop, we don't want to stop the screen recording. Go back to the start of the track and line up here. And let's just listen to the guitar intro and the vocals come in and see how this mix is sounding. Check, 1, 2. There's me checking my vocals level. There was a time when we used to play outside. Didn't worry who was around. We were free and we didn't have a care about the things we put in the air. But those times are gone, they have floated away. Okay, so these go, as you can see, we can adjust the volume here and get a better level on our vocal by upping the guitar and downing the vocals, because I did sing a little bit too loud. And there's a couple of things that I've noticed here. My guitar track was a bit noisy. I'm wearing a shirt with buttons, which I shouldn't have done to begin with, which is getting a bit of scraping noise there. And the microphone here is good, but it's not fabulously perfect, so it's going to pick up a lot of that additional noise. But in terms of a demo recording of this the first sort of track that we're going to go with here, it's doing pretty well. So the good thing we can do here, so if we solo out, now that we've done them separately, we can hear just the guitar track. And if we take that off and solo this one, we can hear just the vocal. Yesterday, because it's gone. And you'll hear a little bit of that guitar track in the background. Now, what we can also do, the reason you hear that guitar track in the background is it's coming through the headphones. So the little bit of bleed because I had the guitar playing back. But together, you're not really going to notice that because it's going to be the same sound. So that's all going pretty well. The other thing that I'd probably do with this is tap here, go back to my microphone setting, turn off monitor so I don't hear myself while I'm doing this, and I'll change this back to sort of like a lead vocals, which gives me a little bit of better tone here. I'm going to drop the pitch control down because otherwise I'll sound like an auto-tune junkie, and let's just play this, and I'll just play around with the vocal settings and get this a little bit better. And it's a new day. Was a time when the women folks stayed home to care for all the little ones, and some of us, well, we had to live in fear just because the way we appear. But those times are gone, they are floating away. We're moving on, no more yesterday, because it's gone, and it's a new day. So there you go, just a very quick mix there on the vocals. I'm not going to even touch the guitar, but if we wanted to, we could come in here and play around with some of the compressor, room presence, and tone settings. We'll be doing that as we progress with this song, but for now, I just wanted to show you how in the space of about 10 minutes, I can do one take on guitar, one take on vocals, and we've got ourselves the start of a song here. And now I can work through this, I can work out how many bars each section are, and then when I go to chop up and put this into my final recording, which I will probably do right here on the channel, why not? So you'll probably see a little bit more of this song, but this is my first sort of take down, ready to go, and I thought this would be an interesting way to show you a little bit of multi-track recording, and again, using this fabulous internal microphone here on the iPad. So if you've got no gear, if you've got no microphones, if you've got no interface, do not fear, you can still get a decent sound. And this was, like I said, a pretty dodgy setup. If you spend a bit more time on positioning and performance, you're going to get an even better sound, and you could probably get something close enough to release. Once you get a bunch of instruments in there, this is obviously a very quiet fingerstyle guitar and quiet vocals, probably not the ideal choice for doing something like this, but if this can sound okay, anything can sound okay. So that is going to do it for now. I need to move on and continue working through this song, make sure my lyrics are sounding tight, and start writing some other parts to fill out the arrangement of this song. It's going to be pretty subtle like this. Not going to be a whole lot of instruments in here, but we're going to need a little bit of a cushion, maybe another guitar in there. We'll see how we go. And if you have ideas, then obviously let me know. I love hearing from you about my songwriting, as well as your comments about the videos here as well. So there you go. I hope you found that enjoyable, entertaining, educational, or some other word that starts with E. Well, I've got a question for you here today. What are some of the ways that you like to capture your song ideas? How do you start a song? Whether you use GarageBand, do you use some other sort of software? Do you capture it on your phone? I'm really keen to know, because there's different ways to do these sort of things, and we all have different tools and tips and tricks with songwriting and capturing our ideas. So I would love to hear from you. If you've got any other comments, questions, or suggestions, definitely leave those down below, and I'm going to see you on the next video.